My name is Reginald Holloway. I am 76 years old. For 43 years I worked as a postal worker. I walked the same route, delivered to the same houses, waved at the same faces day after day, year after year. It was not a glamorous life. It was not a wealthy life. But it was an honest life and I was proud of it. My wife Beatrice and I raised 6 children together, 3 boys and 3 girls. We lived in a small house with thin walls and a leaky roof and not nearly enough space. But it was full of love, it was full of laughter, it was full of life. I remember the sound of their footsteps on the stairs, the chaos of dinner time, the arguments over the bathroom, the late-night conversations when one of them couldn't sleep. It was exhausting. It was overwhelming. It was the best time of my life. I thought that love would last forever. I thought that family was forever. I thought that blood was thicker than water. I believed that with my whole heart. I believed that the bonds we had forged through years of struggle and sacrifice would never break. I believed that my children would always be there for me, the way I had always been there for them. I was wrong. I have learned in the twilight of my life that blood means nothing. It is just a liquid that runs through your veins. It does not guarantee loyalty. It does not guarantee love. It does not guarantee that the people you raised will be there for you when you need them most. It does not guarantee that they will remember your sacrifices, honor your efforts, or even acknowledge your existence. My children taught me that, each one of them, in their own way, in their own time, and the lesson cost me everything: my health, my sanity, my will to live. I lost weight, I lost sleep. I lost the joy that had once filled my heart. I became a shell of the man I used to be, a ghost haunting my own life. It started with the oldest, my firstborn, Edward. He was always the golden child, the one who could do no wrong, the one who got straight A's, won scholarships, and became a successful doctor. He was everything a parent could hope for. I was so proud of him, so proud of the man he had become, so proud of the life he had built. He had a beautiful wife, a beautiful home, beautiful children. He had everything. I was so proud of him that I never noticed the distance growing between us. I never noticed the way he stopped looking me in the eye. I never noticed the way he stopped inviting me to his important events. I never noticed the way he stopped calling me Dad and started calling me Mr. Holloway. I was too busy being proud to see that he was slipping away. And he had no room for me. It started with small things. He stopped returning my calls. He stopped inviting me to family dinners. He stopped including me in holidays. He stopped acknowledging that I existed. I would call him on Sundays the way I had always done, and he would let it go to voicemail. I would leave a message asking him how he was, how his family was, if he needed anything. He would never call back. I made excuses for him. I told myself he was busy. I told myself he had his own life. I told myself I was being too sensitive. I told myself 1,000 lies because the truth was too painful to face. The truth was that he was ashamed of me, ashamed of my job, ashamed of my clothes, ashamed of my worn-out hands and my tired eyes, ashamed of everything I was. I am a postal worker. I smell like sweat and rain and hard work. My clothes come from discount stores. My car has rust on the fenders. I am not wealthy. I am not important. I am not the kind of father he wanted to show off to his colleagues and his in-laws. His in-laws were wealthy. His in-laws were important. His in-laws were everything he wanted to be and everything I would never be. When he got married, I was not invited to the wedding. I found out from a cousin who had been invited, who had attended, who had watched my son marry his bride without me. I sat in my living room staring at the phone, waiting for an invitation that never came. I called him. He did not answer. I left a voicemail. I asked him why. He never responded. That was 15 years ago. 15 years of silence. 15 years of wondering what I had done wrong. 15 years of staring at the phone, willing it to ring. 15 years of replaying every conversation, every moment, every interaction, trying to find the moment when everything went wrong. 15 years of blaming myself, hating myself, wondering if I deserved to be forgotten. Then there was Robert, my second son. He was the rebellious one, The one who always pushed boundaries, questioned authority, broke the rules. He was exhausting, he was infuriating, but he was also brilliant. He was also passionate. He was also full of life. He had a fire in him that I recognized because I had it too. He was my mirror, my reflection, my shadow, and I loved him fiercely for it. I thought he would grow out of it. I thought he would settle down. I thought he would find his way. I was wrong. Robert was a wild horse that would never be tamed. He was a storm that would never pass. He was a fire that would never stop burning. Robert got into trouble as a teenager, drinking, drugs, stealing. He spent time in juvenile detention. He spent time in rehab. He spent time in my prayers. I never gave up on him. I never stopped loving him. I visited him in detention every weekend, driving 2 hours each way, sitting in cold visiting rooms, watching him through thick glass. I paid for his rehab, draining my savings, working extra shifts to cover the cost. I welcomed him home with open arms every time he fell. I thought he would change. I thought he would appreciate my love. I thought he would be grateful. I was wrong. Robert was not grateful. He was entitled. He believed that my love was his birthright, that my sacrifices were his due, that I owed him everything and he owed me nothing. When he was 28, he came to me with a proposal. He said he had an opportunity, a business opportunity, a chance to make something of himself. He needed money, a lot of money. He promised to pay it back. He promised to make me proud. He promised that this time would be different. He looked me in the eye and swore on his mother's grave that he would change. I gave him everything I had, my life savings, the money I had been saving for my retirement, the money I had been saving for my funeral. I gave it all to him. I trusted him. I believed him. I loved him. He took it. He disappeared. I never saw him again. That was 12 years ago. 12 years of silence. 12 years of wondering if he was alive or dead. 12 years of wondering if he had ever loved me at all. 12 years of waking up in the middle of the night, convinced I had heard his voice, only to find an empty room. 12 years of checking obituaries, scanning the news, looking for any sign of him. 12 years of grief without closure, loss without a body, love without a recipient. And then there was Thomas, my youngest son, the baby of the family, the one who was born with a gentle heart and a kind soul. He was the one I thought would always be there for me. He was the one I thought would never leave. He was my peace, my comfort, my hope. I was wrong. Thomas became a pastor, a man of God, a man of faith, a man who preached about love and forgiveness and family. He was respected. He was admired. He was loved by his congregation. I was so proud of him. I thought he would be the one to keep our family together. I thought he would be the one to heal the wounds that Edward and Robert had left behind. But he did not love me, not enough to stay, not enough to fight, not enough to forgive. When Beatrice died, Thomas was the one who gave the eulogy. He talked about his mother's love, her kindness, her faith. He talked about how she had been the heart of our family. He talked about her sacrifices, her strength, her unwavering devotion. The congregation wept. They praised him for his beautiful words. They told him how proud his mother would be. He did not mention me, not once, not in passing, not in passing. He acted like I did not exist, like I had never been part of her life, like I had never been part of his life, like I was a ghost, invisible and forgotten. I confronted him after the service. I pulled him aside, my hands shaking, my voice trembling. I asked him why. I asked him how he could forget the man who had raised him. I asked him how he could be so cruel. I asked him how he could stand in front of everyone and erase me from the story of our family. He looked at me with cold eyes. "You were never there, Father," he said. His voice was flat, unemotional. "You were always working, always tired, always distant. You provided for us, but you never loved us. Not really. You were never present. You were never available. You were never the father we needed." I was stunned. I could not speak. I could not breathe. The words hit me like a physical blow, knocking the wind out of me. I had spent my whole life working for him, sacrificing for him, loving him, and he had seen none of it. None of it had mattered. I loved you, I said, my voice cracking. I worked 2 jobs so you could have everything. I sacrificed everything for you. I gave you everything I had. Accept your time, he said. Accept your attention, accept your heart. He shook his head. You don't get it, do you? You never got it, you still don't get it. Your love was never enough because you were never there. You were a paycheck father, not a father. He walked away. He did not look back. That was 10 years ago. 10 years of silence. 10 years of wondering if I had been a bad father. 10 years of wondering if I deserved the cruelty of my children. 10 years of replaying his words in my mind over and over, trying to understand. 10 years of realizing that he was right. I had worked too much. I had been too tired. I had been too distant. I had not been there the way I should have been. And my absence had cost me everything. And then there were my daughters, my 3 beautiful daughters. Constance, the oldest, she was a successful lawyer. She had a beautiful house and a handsome husband and 2 perfect children. She was everything a parent could hope for. She also never spoke to me, not after she got married, not after she had children, not after she became a partner at her firm. She was too busy, too important, too successful to make time for her father. I would see her in the grocery store sometimes. She would pretend not to see me. She would turn the other way, walk down a different aisle, disappear around a corner. She would avoid me like I was a stranger, like I was a threat, like I was nothing. I tried to approach her once. I called her name. She stopped. She turned. She looked at me with eyes that held no warmth, no recognition, no love. "What do you want?" she asked. Her voice was flat, cold, distant. "I just wanted to say hello," I said. "I miss you, Constance. I miss my daughter." "I don't have a father," she said. "Not anymore. I made my peace with that years ago. You should do the same." She walked away. I never approached her again. Then there was Margaret, my middle daughter. She was an artist. She was sensitive. She was fragile. She was the one I worried about the most. She struggled with depression. She struggled with anxiety. She struggled with everything. I tried to help her. I tried to be there for her. I tried to support her, but she pushed me away. She told me I didn't understand. She told me I was part of the problem. She told me she needed space. She never came back. I called her every week. I left voicemails. I sent letters. I sent cards on her birthday and holidays. She never responded. She never reached out. She never acknowledged that I existed. I heard from a neighbor that she had moved to another state, that she had gotten married, that she had changed her name, that she had started a new life, a life that did not include me. And then there was little Elena, my baby girl, the youngest, the one who was born with a smile on her face and a light in her eyes. She was the one I thought would always be there for me. She was the one I thought would never leave. She was my heart, my joy, my reason for living. She left. She married a man I did not approve of, a man who was controlling, a man who was manipulative, a man who isolated her from her family. She stopped calling. She stopped visiting. She stopped acknowledging that I existed. When I tried to reach out, her husband told me to stay away. He told me I was not welcome. He told me I was toxic. He told me I was abusive. I was not abusive. I was not toxic. I was just a father who loved his daughter and wanted to be part of her life. But it didn't matter. She believed him. She chose him. She chose him over me. She chose to erase me from her life. She chose to forget me. She chose to move on without me. I have not seen any of my children in over a decade. I have not spoken to them. I have not heard their voices. I have not held their hands. I have not hugged them. I have not told them I love them. They have erased me from their lives as if I never existed. They have moved on. They have built new lives, new families, new identities. They have forgotten the man who raised them, the man who sacrificed for them, the man who loved them. I am 76 years old. I live alone in a small apartment. I have no one, no family, no friends, no one to call, no one to visit, no one to hold. I spend my days reading old books, watching television, staring out the window, thinking about the past, thinking about my children, thinking about everything I did wrong. I know I made mistakes. I worked too much. I was too tired. I was too distant. I was not there for them the way I should have been. I was not perfect. I was not the father they deserved, but I loved them. I always loved them. I loved them more than anything in the world. I sacrificed everything for them. I gave them everything I had. I worked 2 jobs so they could have food and clothes and a roof over their heads. I went without sleep so they could have tutors and books and opportunities. I gave them my body, my mind, my heart. I gave them my life. And they left me. I have learned a terrible lesson. Blood is no longer thicker than water it used to be. In my parents' time, family meant everything. You stayed together, you supported each other. You never abandoned each other no matter what, but times have changed. Children leave. They build their own lives. They forget the people who raised them. They replace their parents with their spouses, their friends, their careers. They move on. They move away. They move forward. And they leave the past behind. I am not angry, I am not bitter, I am just sad. Deeply, profoundly sad. I miss my children, I miss their laughter, I miss their voices, I miss their faces. I miss the sound of their footsteps on the stairs. I miss the chaos of family dinners. I miss the noise, the mess, the life. I am alone now. I have been alone for so long that I have forgotten what it feels like to be loved. I have forgotten the warmth of a hug, the comfort of a hand on my shoulder, the peace of knowing that someone is there for me. Last week I received a letter. It was from Edward, my oldest, the one who had ignored me for 15 years. The letter was brief, formal, cold. It was the letter of a stranger who happened to share my last name, a stranger who had no interest in my life, my health, my well-being. Dear Father, I am writing to inform you that I am moving to another country. My wife has been offered a position abroad. We will be leaving next month. I do not know when I will return. I wanted to let you know so that you would not worry. I hope you are well. Sincerely, Edward. I read the letter 3 times. I read it until the words blurred in front of my eyes. He was leaving. He was leaving the country. He was leaving me. He did not say he would miss me. He did not say he loved me. He did not say goodbye. He just told me he was leaving. I sat in my apartment. I stared at the letter. I felt nothing. I was too empty to feel, too broken to cry. I folded the letter. I put it in a drawer. I closed the drawer. I will never see my son again. I know that now. I will never hold his hand. I will never hug him. I will never tell him I love him. He is gone, and he does not care. My health is failing. My heart is weak. My lungs are damaged. The doctors say I don't have much time. A year, maybe 2, maybe less. I am not afraid of dying. I am afraid of dying alone. I am afraid of dying without ever seeing my children again. I am afraid of dying without ever knowing if they loved me. I have started writing letters. Letters to my children. Letters I will never send. Letters they will never read. I tell them about my life. I tell them about the memories I hold in my heart. I tell them about the days when they were young and the world was full of possibility. I tell them about the love I still feel for them. I tell them I forgive them. I tell them I hope they are happy. I tell them I hope they find peace. I know they will never read these letters. They will never know how much I love them. They will never know how much I miss them. But I have to write them. I have to tell the story. I have to say the words. Because if I don't, they will die with me. And I cannot bear the thought of taking my love to the grave. Yesterday, a miracle happened. There was a knock at my door, a soft knock, hesitant, like someone who was not sure they would be welcomed. I opened the door. A woman stood there. She was about 40 years old. She had red hair and freckles and my eyes, my eyes. "Eleanor," I whispered, my voice cracked. I could not believe what I was seeing. I thought I was dreaming. I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. I thought I had finally lost my grip on reality. "Hi, Daddy," she said. Her voice was soft, shaky. "I'm sorry it took me so long." I started to cry. I could not help it. The tears came like a flood. I opened my arms. She walked into them. She held me. I held her. Father and daughter, finally together, finally reunited, finally home. "I left him," she said. "The man I married, I left him a year ago. It took me a long time to find the courage. I was ashamed. I was afraid. I didn't know if you would want to see me." "Of course I want to see you," I said. My voice was thick with tears. You are my daughter. I have always wanted to see you. I have never stopped wanting to see you. I have been waiting for you for years. I have been praying for you for years. I have been hopping for you for years. I'm sorry, Daddy. I'm so sorry. I should have come sooner. I should have fought harder. I should have been stronger. I should have never let him keep me away from you. I hugged her again. I held her tight. I did not want to let go. You are here now, I said. That is all that matters. You are here now. You are home. You are safe. We sat in my apartment. We talked for hours. She told me about her life, her marriage, her escape. Her children, my grandchildren who were waiting in the car, I met them. My grandchildren, they were beautiful, they were smart, they were full of life. They were everything I had ever hoped for. I spent the afternoon with them. I played with them. I told them stories. I held them close. I did not think about Edward. I did not think about Robert. I did not think about Thomas. I did not think about Constance or Margaret or the years of loneliness. I thought about Alina, my baby girl, the one who had come back to me, the one who had chosen me, the one who had remembered me, the one who had loved me enough to find me. I have learned something important in the last few days. Blood may not be thicker than water. Family may not be forever. Children may leave. They may abandon us. They may forget us. But sometimes, just sometimes, they come back. And when they do, it is a gift. A precious, miraculous, undeserved gift. Alina is staying with me now. She and her children are living with me while she gets back on her feet. The house is full of noise and laughter and life. It is chaotic, it is messy. It is wonderful. I am not healed, I am not whole. The years of pain and loneliness and abandonment have left deep scars. I still think about my other children, I still miss them, I still love them, but I am no longer alone. I have Alina. I have my grandchildren, I have hope. I have a reason to keep living. I have a reason to keep fighting. I have a reason to keep hopping. I am Reginald Holloway. I am 76 years old. I am a retired postal worker. I am a father of 6. I have learned that blood is no longer thicker than water. I have learned that family is not always forever, but I have also learned that love can survive, that hope can be reborn, that even in the darkest times there is still a chance for redemption. My children left me. They abandoned me. They broke my heart, but one of them came back, and that is enough. That is more than enough. I will spend the rest of my life being grateful for my Alina, for her courage, for her love, for her willingness to forgive. I will never stop loving my other children, even though they do not love me back, even though they do not call, even though they do not come, because that is what parents do. We love. Even when we are not loved in return, we hope. Even when hope seems foolish, we forgive. Even when forgiveness seems impossible, that is the lesson of my life. That is the legacy I will leave behind. Blood may no longer be thicker than water, but love will always be stronger than hate. Forgiveness will always be stronger than resentment. Hope will always be stronger than despair. And that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything.